Mike's Daily Podcast.
I think I sang that as flat as I could. Flat. Hi, I'm your host, Mike Matthews, and welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. Not Fred's, not Tom's, not Skip's, but Mike's. Episode 1760. I am your host. I've been podcasting for almost 10 years now, and I help Mike's Daily Podcast. Excuse me. That was inappropriate. I coughed on my podcast. Mike's Daily Podcast. I've helped other people podcast. If you would like, I can help you too, but you don't have to do what I do and sing at the beginning of your show or cough on the beginning of your show. I don't know what caused that. There's a lot of stuff still in the air, I think. Maybe, I don't know. So, I don't know. Mike's Daily Podcast. That's what we've learned today is we don't know. Hey, so today's show, Mike's, will feature a cool podcast picture. I really like the one from yesterday. Yeah! Fairmont Ridge. I don't get to go up there as much because my dog his legs aren't as good as they used to be, and there's a steep hill you have to go up to get to the top of this. Usually I'd have my smoothie here to help with my throat problems, but today I don't, so I must suffer. So going to Fairmont Ridge, it's got this beautiful view of the whole Bay Area, and I used to go every week, a couple times a week. I went so often that I got to know a lot of the people there. And they'd be like, hey, Mike, and I'd be, hey, Mike, and there was Mark, and a lot of other people whose names started with M. There was another Mike who had a brindle dog. And I just got to know all these people. And it's sad now. I don't go up there much with my dog, and I haven't gone up in months, probably half a year now. And I just can't because he can't quite make it up the hill. So I miss it. And so that was a little homage to all those people I haven't seen in a while. And I got a email or a message on my Facebook from one of the people that goes all the time. Mike, we haven't seen you in Basel in a long time. So, but Fairmont Ridge, I used to go so often, and this is my point, is you don't know what you've got till it's gone. That's a Cinderella song from the 80s, and it was sad and it had a lot of the same video trope that they used and a lot of heavy metal ballad.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Well, two I can think of off the top of my head. Aerosmith's Angel, You're My Angel, and Cinderella's Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. When they do the guitar solo, they have a helicopter flying over the guitarist playing on like a massive mountaintop. Oh, there is a version of Heaven's Door, Knocking on Heaven's Door. I forget the name of the band. It was like Giuffra or Zebra or Triumph or something like that. And all these guys with hair down to their friggin' butts, blonde, blow-dried, icky hair, big hair, tight pants, their leather jackets, and they're singing to the song as the helicopters flew over them on top of this mountainside. So 80s, came out in the 80s. And honestly, that's the first time I ever heard Knocking on Heaven's Door. And I thought, oh, this is a pretty good song. This heavy metal band wrote this great song called Knocking on Heaven's Door. Later, I learned it was Bob Dylan, and get my head out of my tuchus. So, this wonderful Fairmont Ridge, which I used to go to all the time, and I went ad nauseum. I'd get out, I'd see the same people, I'd walk it, I'd see the people that walked it every day. Some people walked it twice a day. And all these weird stories happened, like this weird young Russian kid who brought his dog, and the dog went and terrorized. They have cows in this park, because it's a huge park. And his dog was terrorizing these cows, making these cows run up a hill, like not up a hill, but sideways up a hill. So these huge cows that weigh, how much do they weigh? 500 pounds or something? 600? And these cows are about to go rolling down this hill and die, basically, once they go flopping down. They can't, their bodies can't withstand that because they're so top heavy. And I say to the Russian guy, do you see what your dog's doing? He goes, yes, well, this is okay because this is a public park. And the public park, the dogs can't do whatever they want because they're dogs. And I said, no, those cows belong to someone, and they're going to sue your butt. They're going to take your butt to small claims court or something because you hurt their cow. Their cows. Well, that guy just hurt his cow. He did a little. So, yeah, stupid. So, but I met some nice people, and I miss them. But I can't quite make it to Fairmont. And honestly, I went to Fairmont Ridge enough times to last an entire lifetime. I went a lot, and I took so many pictures. In fact, there were some people I knew. I haven't seen them in a long time. Nick and Steph. Nick would go, Mike, did you do your podcast today? Hey, Mike! He'd always go, hey, Mike! Did you do a new podcast today, Mike? Hey, Mike! I think he wanted to do that old commercial. Hey, Mikey! Eat our cereal. Hey, Mikey, he like it. And I would be, I'm taking another picture because this place is beautiful. And I will take as many pictures as I darn well want. So that was that. Speaking of pets, though, there was this cat last night. A cat! So I'm driving Basil. Now I have to drive him to places we used to walk to near my house. I have to drive him to the park. Because just walking there on the asphalt and the cement, it doesn't do very well for his paws. And I've tried the dog paw shoes, and he doesn't like those. His body shuts down. He'll just stop. So I just drive him to the parks now. And I'm driving him, and I'm driving one of the streets near my house. And a cat is in the middle of the street. A live cat staring me down, looking at me. Like, you make the first move, punk. And I stopped the car, and luckily I'm on a street that hardly anyone drives up and down, a residential street in suburbia in Castro Valley. And I go over, and the cat's really sweet, and he comes up to me, and I pick him up. I pick up the cat. And, I know my dog doesn't have many years left. Hopefully he has a couple of years left. I'll be happy with that. And I go, I think I should do this. I think I should see what happens. So I take the cat and I bring the cat over to Basil, who's in the car, sitting there. And I've got the window open. And I go, look, Basil, a kitty. And usually in his younger days, he would have lunged at the cat or something. But he just stared at the cat. And I'm thinking, for a split second, I might steal this cat. This cat is very cool. This cat and Basil seem to be getting along. I might have a new cat. But then I remembered I'm allergic to cats. And I can't keep saying cat like a Russian says it. So I did not take the cat. But sweet cat, and be careful on that street. I don't remember what the street was. It's somewhere near the Vinoy School. There's a street where there's a black cat that's just walking down the street, I guess, and that's dangerous. And there might be, unfortunately, a dead black cat. I hope not, but I don't know why this cat was doing. And he's a little bit older, so he should know what he's doing. Crazy. So my point is, oh shoot, that's the catchphrase I wanted to get rid of. Here, let me blow up that catchphrase. What I was talking about was the wonderful world of, the podcast picture. Right. Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. You know what? What I discovered yesterday, aside from the strange, odd cat experience, is that the Russians, speaking of Russians, so yeah, during the midterms, they were trolling. They were on the FB, the Facebook. And apparently they were doing lots of naughty stuff. They were already trying to sway you. And, Facebook is doing all this other stuff that they're not telling us about. And people have been saying Facebook stock is going to plummet. But somehow it keeps adrift. And I didn't want to say anything else except that. What? Crazy. I wanted to post today a podcast picture of a Christmas tree. And this would be the one... Oh, no, wait, we're going to go with a... Yeah? Should we do the Christmas tree or the Hanukkah thing? Got this big Hanukkah candle at the Union Square in San Francisco. And that... It's quite a visual, stunning sort of thing. Should we do that or the Macy's massive... No, I don't want to give Macy's a free plug. They haven't given me anything free in a while. Ever. Nothing. Oh, I will tell you... Okay. Macy's does have a card you can sign up for. And you get a discount on your purchases. So... What we used to do is we'd sign up for the card at checkout, get the discount, and then cancel the card. Who hasn't done that? Am I right? How about this little scene, this little snowman scene? And this is, you only find this out. I'm not going to put this on the podcast picture when I post it to Instagram and everywhere. This is actually taken at the Old Navy in San Francisco near Union Square. Union, Powell and Market, I think is what this is. And so, yeah, there's this funky looking snowman. So see that picture at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Yes, today, as I was driving in, I heard a little bit more about voter suppression and about how to fight voter suppression. In Georgia, it didn't work because I guess the guy who was doing the voter suppression won. And now, however, in Alabama, Doug Jones won and beat Roy Moore, who almost won. God, can you imagine? Well, there's been worse politicians elected, but, well, maybe not. Roy Moore was this horrible Republican, apparently a pedophile. And he almost won very narrowly, but Doug Jones, the Democrat, beat him. And they say part of it is because the black community mobilized. They knew that there was going to be voter suppression. They knew Alabama was going to make it difficult for African Americans to vote by making them, you got to have your birth certificate and be very specific. Their polling places were closed that were near the African American communities. So they mobilized. The Democrat Party mobilized and got them, well, I don't know if it was exactly the Democrat Party, but someone mobilized and got them to the polling places with car share services, car ride thing. And believe me, and having lived in Alabama, I know that public transportation, it was difficult. It was, well, you've heard that's where the biggest bus incident of all time with Rosa Parks ever happened. But yeah, I was like, I want to take a bus to places. I don't want to have to drive all the time. And I could not find a single bus line. Everything had to be taxied. And now I'm sure it's all Ubered. Ooh, to be an Uber driver in Alabama, I wonder, that might be pretty profitable, I would imagine. So not only Roshan Trolls, as we go outside Cafe Anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast, someone on Castro Valley, on Facebook, but the Republican National Committee emails got hacked. And we didn't hear about it until recently, but the midterm, just before, I guess this happened way before the midterms happened. And they got hacked, and I don't know about you, I didn't hear about a single Republican email. Contrast that with the 2016 and the Democrat, national whatever, their emails got hacked. Is it the DNC? Are they the same? Are they mirrored? They got hacked, and then all the emails got publicized through the wonderful WikiLeaks. Thank you, Mr. What's your face? The guy with the white hair. Thank you for releasing all the
WikiLeaks. I love WikiLeaks.
Julian Assange. And that's the end of today's show. My brain is not as quick today as it sometimes is. But I do suggest go see that Orson Welles documentary on Netflix this weekend. If you've ever wondered who the heck Orson Welles was, he was a big fat guy, and he got fatter and fatter the older he got. And then he basically died because he was so fat. But he, for a while, was the greatest director of all time, and someone that I work with who is a huge old-time radio fan. He told me, you would not believe Orson Welles was so big in the old-time radio days, back when it was radio theater, that he would actually be on 2 radio stations in New York, and he would leave the station after doing his show. He would pay the elevator guys to hold the elevator so he could run into the elevator, go down to the floor, get on and then he had an ambulance, a fake ambulance, or it was an ambulance that he would hire to take him and, lights a blaring, get him across town to this other radio station where he would do another show, and he had 15 minutes to get there. And New York apparently passed a law saying you can't do that, but Orson Welles apparently did this. So they don't talk about that in the documentary, mainly about this movie he was doing called The Wind, the Two Sides of the Wind or something, The Other Side of the Wind, I think is what it is. So Netflix did this because they actually ended up paying for and having the movie that had never been edited together, because there was all this footage Orson Welles had filmed, and Netflix paid to have it finally edited together, and now there's this movie that Orson Welles made, one of the last movies that had never been released, never been completed, is now completed, and it's on Netflix. It's in my queue, even though I don't have a Netflix account. I won't explain. But yes, I might watch that this weekend. But the documentary about Orson Welles that's also on Netflix is massively fascinating, and it tells you all about the show business world, all from, like, you start in the 40s all the way up through the early 80s. You get a sense of what show business, the movie business, was like to be in. And if you ever wanted to be in show business, maybe watching this will dissuade you, and you'll go, I think I'll stick with what I'm doing. For me, what I'm doing is podcasting. And I didn't even say hi to the people that popped by, and I feel bad. Let's say hi. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How you doing? And I brought my horse, Dilly. Hi, Nilly. Good horse. I think you'd like the cat that I met.
And this is the Disgruntled Fiddle Player tell you what.
What?
I found that Orson Welles stuff was a bit unsettling.
Uh-huh. And look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I make the delicious root beer. Have some right now. Oh, boy. I'll cut you.
Oh, then I should have some. Have a great weekend. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Check out the website that Ariel is going to tell you about, because it's brand new and cleaned up, so it's more secure, and you can enjoy it and find out more stuff about this show that has been on for 1,760 episodes. Some of which we had some cool interviews, which you can also find at the website. Tell them more about it, Ariel.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!